might not remember their 21st birthday celebrations, but one Pasadena High School alum, Samantha Dancer, hoped to make her birthday celebration a very memorable event, and that's what she did. She raised money for her bone marrow transplant. Samantha is here to tell us more about her birthday wish, and she's joined by her father, Derrick. Samantha and Derrick, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Samantha, you were born with a genetic disease, sickle cell anemia, which is, it's the most inherited blood disease. Is that what it is? The most common inherited blood disease?
Yes, upon African Americans, yeah.
Tell us more about what sickle cell anemia is.
It's basically a blood disease where my sickle cells, instead of being circular shaped, they're shaped as a crescent. So sometimes they get stuck in the bloodstream and oxygen can't get to that certain part of the body. So it causes pain, a pain crisis. That's what usually happens when that happens. So it can cause like really excruciating pain in one part of my body, and I'll have to go to the hospital if it can't be controlled at home.
Oh, wow.
For pain control in the hospital. So.
Now, you were born with this disease,
yes.
But when did it start, when did you start understanding what it was? Did you have complications with it from the beginning, or does it happen after a certain age you start feeling the pain?
Not from birth, I don't think. I think it starts around 5 or 6.
Okay.
I remember probably in like second or third grade, I started having complications that I remember. Had surgery when I was in kindergarten or first grade when my tonsils was taken out, and then when I was in the 5th grade, I had my spleen removed. So yeah, that's when I started to remember being hospitalized for it.
So you were hospitalized for those two, the tonsils and...
Yeah, usually it would be about 2 or 3 times a year that I'd have to be hospitalized for the pain crisis.
Okay, so those would be common surgeries for kids, but for you, the pain was even more intense because of sickle cell anemia.
Well, I led a pretty normal life up until my first year of college is when it started.
Oh, really?
It started getting pretty bad.
Now, Derrick, so did you know, have you always known you had the gene? It is a gene that comes from both parents, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
Both parents can carry the gene. The trait is what we're talking about, and it's a situation where if both parents have the trait or the disease, then there's a 25% chance that the offspring can have the full-blown disease.
Okay, did you know you had this gene, or?
You know, what's funny is that I believe I knew before, but it's something, if you only have the trait, you live a normal life for the most part, and it's something that hadn't come back and visited my memory until Samantha came down with the diagnosis.
And what was that like for you as a father to find out that your daughter has that?
You know, it was an eye-opening experience, somewhat daunting perhaps, because we do have other relatives in our families, both my wife and I, who are challenged with the disease. So we knew that this was a lifelong challenge for our daughter, and it was a decision was made at that point that we would do our best to make sure that she lived a normal life as possible, and we also prayed immediately for a cure for the disease.
What about Samantha's mom? Did she know that she had this gene, or
yes?
Has she had any complications from it?
No. Again,
okay.
she simply has a trait. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And what other treatments? So you said college was the first time that you started to realize what you had. But you know what? We'll come back and ask you a little bit more about college. You're going to stay with us and tell us more about all of this. Obviously, it's such a predominant disease in the African American community, correct?
Yes.
So we definitely want to get the information out there. So thank you for coming back.
Sure.
Okay.
We're back with Samantha and her father, Derrick. So Samantha, you are a college student at Howard University in D.C. Did your friends know you had sickle cell anemia?
Yeah. Well, when I first had to go to the hospital, that's when they first found out.
When was the first time you had to go to the hospital there?
It was about maybe 2 or 3 months after I got there in August.
Okay.
So yeah, that's when they found out, and they were very supportive about, coming to visit me and being there for me. And
were you at the hospital in D.C., or did you come back here?
No, at the Howard University Hospital.
Okay, so. And did you have to be in the hospital for long periods? Was that
mostly
difficult?
It was about like a week
at
a time, no more than that.
And when did you come back to this area? Are you still in college? Are you not completing, or?
Well, no, right now I'm on a medical leave for
Okay.
the transplant. So after the transplant, I plan on returning to college.
Okay. Now, what were you studying in college?
Political science.
Political science. What do you want to do with political science?
I want to be a judge eventually.
A judge. Okay. Well, that's hopefully we'll see you in court. Well, I don't want to see you in court, but anyway. So what kinds of costs are involved in treating this disease, and then the next step, you're looking for a transplant, correct?
Yeah. Well, a transplant on its own is really an expensive venture. Cost estimates are anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000, from what we understand preliminarily here. Thank goodness for us, insurance is going to take care of a real good part of that, but still there are costs that aren't covered by insurance, and depending on who your carrier is, that figure can be, $25,000 or $150,000. We're believing for $70,000 in order to cover the expenses that aren't covered by Sam's insurance.
Okay. Now, and that's a bone marrow transplant.
Yes.
That's what you're hoping to get.
Right.
And you're on a registry match? Is that what they're looking for, a match right now?
Well, they found a match. We found out about 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
so, yeah,
that's
the great
wonderful.
part. Yeah, so now we have a few tests to go through before I actually go into the hospital to get the procedure done.
Okay, and do you know who the match is?
No, we'll find out. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, as a matter of fact, so hopefully we'll find out. I'll be able to hopefully meet him after all of it is said and done.
Do you know anything about the person?
No, not
No?
yet.
Okay, well, we want to definitely, please keep us informed.
Okay.
Maybe there's a way we could, have you both on.
Okay, that would be great.
And have you had problems with insurance, since this is, something that she's had since birth? Have you had any trouble getting insurance for her?
No problem getting insurance. The problem for the most part is sometimes you run into situations, too often actually, where doctors aren't familiar with treating the disease, and so that can be a challenge.
Okay, so that's the hard part. Now, I know you had your birthday on January 21st, and you invited the community to help raise funds. We do have the information up. We just had it a minute ago, and we will also put it on our website so that people can make donations to you. Do you have other events that you're planning in the community?
Yes, we just finished a 21 for 21 birthday celebration for Samantha right here in Pasadena, and then coming up on March 5th, there's a gospel concert that is being planned right now. We'll be able to get more information about that event to the community as it develops.
Okay, so has your church been really supportive in planning these events and getting the word out?
They really have. Our pastor, Carlton Edwards, and his wife, leading lady Juanita, have been very instrumental in helping us to organize and provide a meeting place for the group of volunteers to come together to help plan for us to raise these important funds.
Okay, great. So you have a website out there. It's COTA4SamanthaD.com.
That's it.
We'll put that on our website as well, and we're wishing you the best as you go forward with your transplant.
Okay,
Thank you so much
very
for coming here.
All right,
You're very
thank
welcome.
you.
Take care.